The bra is already lying on the floor. The hero admires the beauty of the girl. He even asks her permission about whether he can caress her papilla with his tongue. This surprises the girl a little, because before that the guy had never asked her permission. He did everything the way he wanted. This serves as an obvious answer for Jae-seok, who gets down to business. The hero squeezes the girl's lovely breasts while caressing her papilla with his tongue. This causes groans of satisfaction from Pak. Tears come to the eyes of the boss. She tried so hard to avoid it, but it still happened. The guy retreats from the girl, stating that he has wanted to do this for a long time. He starts taking off his jeans. It scares the girl, and the guy wants them to do it instead. The hero takes off his t-shirt. Puck rises to his knees, calling his partner a pervert. She condemns him for such lustful desires. The boss starts to panic more when the pants fly to the side. Doubt and a drop of fear can be seen in her eyes. The girl noticed that this time the guy's squash is even bigger than in the past. Swallowing a lump in her throat, she tries to finish this action. The girl wants to postpone this intimate relationship to another day, considering that today is not the right moment. Mentally, the boss notices that her pussy will not cope with such an aggregate. The girl's words did not affect the hero in any way. He took the girl's t-shirt and started taking it off. Park was desperately trying to stop it, realizing where it was going. Next, Jae-sun begins to pull off his partner's shorts with panties. The boss literally begs him to stop. She asks to postpone everything for the next time, assuring that she will do whatever he asks. Having completely bared the boss's body, the hero says that the girl's words do not work for him. He honestly admits that he can no longer restrain himself. The guy points his weapon at the girl's moon, intending to enter it. Pak tries to stop him with words, but the hero ignores it. The guy's unit is already catching up with the pussy, getting ready to get inside. The girl closes her eyes, preparing for pain, but the cucumber bounces off the hole. Puck opens his eyes with incomprehension. The dignity of the hero moves away from the intended goal. Blushing, the girl tries to understand what the partner is doing. Jae-seok is going to have a grief. He can't stick his dignity in. The girl only looks at her partner with sympathy, not even knowing what to do in such a situation. The guy fatally tries to get into the boss with the help of a little friend, but he constantly slips out. The hero begins to panic. Then Puck takes matters into his own hands. She grabs the subordinate Sakini, directing him to the right place. She explains what should have been taken below. The guy is surprised that the boss is helping him. Jae-seok finally manages to get in. This causes a cry of pleasure. Pak. The hero's unit enters and exits the Luno girl with a squelching sound. The girl's chest moves in time with the movements of the guy. The guy starts to push the girl, mentally noting that it's so warm and slippery inside the girl. The hero also notes that his friend is very well there. Jae-sung is over the moon with pleasure. He decides to bring pleasure not only to himself, but also to the girl, so he grabs her breasts with his hands, starting to squeeze and unclench them. This causes a cry of pleasure from the boss. The hero does not stop there. He starts kissing the girl's papilla, noticing that Pak's breasts are very warm and soft. He compares it to a cloud. This causes louder screams of the girl. Jae-seok wants this process to continue. The guy abruptly pulls away from his partner. This causes misunderstanding in the boss. The hero also explains that he wants to change his position. He lifts the girl's leg, re-entering her Luno. Jae-seok begins to work his hips quickly, causing exclamations of joy and pleasure from the girl. The hero slows down a little. He explains to the boss that his friend signals the arrival of the seed. Pak asks the guy to take out his unit. When the guy starts to take his weapon out of the girl's mouth, seminal fluid begins to spray from the tip of the hero. This surprises the girl, and the hero himself shouts that this is the end. The seed stream shoots out of the hero's cannon onto the girl's stomach. Jae-seok is over the moon with happiness. Both partners are breathing heavily. The guy pulls away from Pak. He walks away for a few seconds to fetch her napkin. He hands it to the boss so she can dry off. At the same time, he asks if she liked it or not. The girl is all red from what happened. She was sweating during the process. Taking the napkin from the guy's hands, she turns away from him. Since they're done, the girl wants the guy to leave her. Jae-seok sees that the boss is angry. He does not understand what is wrong, so he asks for forgiveness. Pak also demands that the subordinate turn away. She covers all her private parts. The girl is shy of the guy. The hero first turns his head away on reflexes, but then turns back to the boss. She looks at him in bewilderment, reminding him that it will only be once a month. The hero is approaching the girl. He gently puts his arm around her shoulders, then puts her on the bed. Pak looks at him with incomprehension, and the hero himself notices an important detail in the contract. Yes, it will be once a month, but how many visits he will be able to make in one day has not been discussed. Actions continue to develop from the same moment they ended. The hero looms over his boss. He claims that since they can only do it once a month, they will do it all day. Park immediately has doubts about this. The hero declares that he can't do anything with himself. He liked the process too much. He begins to attach his unit to the moon. Panic appears on the boss's face. This time he goes inside without her help, which he announces. A moan of pleasure hides from Pak's lips. Under the moans of the girl, the guy begins to move his hips. The guy pulls out his cucumber, noticing one hole in the food. Jae-seok asks the girl to turn around. She lies on her side, but this is not what the partner wanted. The hero asks to lie on his stomach and lift his ass. The girl fulfills the first requirement, but the ass refuses to rise flatly. If the guy wants to, then let him do it himself. Jae-song folds his hands in a supplicating gesture, reminding that it will only be once a month. It doesn't work on Pak. She tells the guy to act on his own if he wants to change his position. The guy starts kneading 2 juicy buns of the girl. The boss is very confused by this pose, which she informs the hero about. The guy also finds a place where to stick his sword, after which, without a drop of delay, he enters the entire length inside. The girl screams enthusiastically, and the guy himself enjoys this moment. He likes this pose more than the previous one. Now he can simultaneously move his hips and touch his partner's buns. Jae-song starts lifting the girl's ass so that she gets on her knees. Park asks not to do this, but assures her that it will be only once. The boss is surprised, not believing the words of the partner. She looks at him over her shoulder, clarifying the seriousness of his intentions. There was no response from the hero, because his friend entered the girl. Both partners plunged into this dance of passion and madness for a few seconds. Everything is interrupted at the moment when Jae-song feels that everything is coming to an end. He informs the girl about this, who asks him only not to finish inside. The guy manages to pull out in time. The guy's seed splashes the boss's back and ass. The guy covers himself with a towel. He is very happy that he finally did it with a girl. He's almost crying with joy. At the same time, the boss is already putting on sneakers. While the hero was enjoying the moment, the girl was already fully dressed, preparing to leave this apartment. Jae-song is so absorbed in the moment that he wants the girl to stay with him for the weekend. Puck responds in a rude manner. She refuses this offer, reminding the hero that there is no connection between them. There is no relationship and love between them, but only an intimate connection. The boss leaves the room, closing the door behind her. The guy doesn't understand what's wrong with her. He thinks that Park has no reason to be angry with him. The girl goes out the door, where she takes a breath. She shifts from one foot to the other for a while, after which she still leaves. The weekend flies by unnoticed. A new working week begins. The boss is the first to come to work. She has already started doing things on the computer. Then she hears a familiar male voice behind her, who addresses her. She is handed a cup of coffee, and Park herself turns a little nervously in the direction of the troublemaker. This person turns out to be Jae-song. The views of the girl and the guy intersect. Both blush, feeling the awkwardness of the moment. The hero gives the boss's coffee, making it clear that she loves him. He sincerely hoped that she would like the drink. Pak is surprised by this behavior of the guy. She squeezes the cup with both hands, smiling slightly. The hero gets to work. He didn't just decide to make a little gift to Pak. The guy wanted to ease his anger towards himself a little. From behind, someone pokes the hero in the back, trying to attract his attention. He turns around and sees his colleague, whom he recently confused with Park when he molested. The girl demands that the guy help her with work. Jae-song refuses to help. He does not understand why a colleague assumed that he should help her. The whole office hears the conversation of these two. They nervously look at the hero, already mentally starting to bury him. The girl wants to start threatening the guy, but he interrupts her, stating that he absolutely does not care about the reason and that he will not perform other people's duties. The colleague says that she has the permission of the senior manager for this. This means that Jae-song is simply obliged to do her job. The guy remembers a conversation with his friend. The latter's eyesight began to deteriorate greatly due to the fact that he was sitting at the computer too much. Jae-song tries to resist what is happening. He doesn't want to let a colleague take over. The girl herself is already beginning to command. He needs to go to the state services website. Then go to a certain window where you need to enter the registration number. A colleague tells him where to go and what to do. While this is happening, she involuntarily gets closer to the guy. Jae-song also notes that the girl is very cute, and the size of her breasts is the same as Park Eun's. However, with all the advantages of the girl, she infuriates him because of her he cannot start his work. The colleague does not pay attention to the hero, being completely absorbed in the work process. The guy finally notices that the girl uses a pink pen and a diaper. Jae-song starts to dig into his memory and remembers something very important. He recalls that in the photos that a friend showed him on an adult social network, a civil servant showed the same pen in one of the photos. A rebuse converges in the guy's head. Most likely, that girl from social networks is his colleague. The girl finally pays attention to the guy. He looks at her in bewilderment. This puts a colleague in the paint. The guy himself also blushes under the girl's gaze. Jae-sun still has doubts about this, because it could be a trivial coincidence. The girl straightens up, putting her hands on her hips. She's trying to figure out why the guy is looking at her like that. She assumes that the hero is protesting in this way because he does not want to work. The guy does not understand what is wrong with a colleague, but he remembers that there is no one in the office who writes with such a pen. Now Jae-sung is absolutely sure that his colleague is the girl from the adult social network. The guy raises his hands for change. He apologizes, assuring the girl that he did not object to work. A colleague in a rage shouts at him, demanding that the guy concentrate because she does not like to repeat twice. The hero only nervously agrees with this, after which the girl calms down. The colleague focuses on the monitor. She bends slightly, involuntarily opening a view of her beautiful mounds. The guy sees the girl's underwear. He notices that his colleague seems to provoke him. Then Jae-sung remembers about the contract with Park Ayan. The third clause of the contract describes that his duties do not include what he is currently doing. The girl continues to say something, staring at the monitor. Jae-sung rests against the back of the chair, starting to look suspiciously at the boss. Puck blushes a lot from this action. She doesn't understand what the guy wants from her. She's trying to find out in a whisper. The hero tries to explain to her on his fingers that there is a third clause of the contract. The boss throws up her hands, not understanding what the guy means. At this moment, the colleague is distracted from the monitor. She looks at Jae-sun first and then at Park Ayan. The boss with a red face turns away, trying to hide it. The girl begins to suspect something is wrong. The working day is already over. The hero is peeping from the corridor at a colleague who forced him to do her job today. The girl is sitting at the computer. She is completely immersed in the workflow, which is why she does not notice the observer. Then his friend appears from behind the hero, who wants to find out what Jae-sung is doing. The guy tells me what happened today. It turns out that this girl is his friend's boss. For the bespectacled man, it is unclear why Jae-sung does not go home. The guy also notices that the girl stayed late at work. This corresponds to the signature of the civil servant in the photos on the network. The hero also notices that the girl's office is very similar to the one where one of the photos is made. To deflect his friend's suspicions from himself, Jae-sung begins to accuse him of doing his job. He demands compensation. The bespectacled man considers his friend's arguments stupid and meaningless. He points to his boss, who is clearly no longer working. But it is clear that the girl is completely absorbed in what is happening on the monitor. He explains that his boss only pretends to work so that she can then go on the night shift. These words make the hero angry. An insult literally escapes from his lips. A colleague puts a hand on his shoulder as support. He tries to support Jae-sun by explaining to him that the girl doesn't want to do her job, so she just throws it off on her subordinates. The bespectacled man also notes that there is no need to work hard in public service, because small fry will do everything for you. The hero looks at this with sadness, but does not say anything. A friend suggests Jae-sun to go home. Seeing his friend's face, the bespectacled man realizes that he is not in a hurry to go home. He asks him not to stay up late and do his job well. Only when the comrade has left, the meaning of what was said reaches the hero. He didn't like his friend's words at all. The boss of a friend is called Kim Suk-hee. This person starts to make Jae-sun very angry. He is thinking about how to free himself from doing the extra work that she puts on him. The guy logs into an account on an adult social network. He finds a page of civil servants where an update has recently taken place. The girl put up a picture in her underwear in the toilet with a tweet in which she offered her subscribers to work with her overtime. From such a beautiful view, Jae-sun's little friend started moving. Meanwhile, Park Ayan finished taking a shower. Her phone rang. The girl took it, starting to blush. Jae-sung called. The girl picked up the phone, starting a conversation. She immediately wanted to know why the guy called her. The hero hesitated. He did not have the will to ask for something, but the threats from Pak in the form of a reset had an effect. Having gathered his emotions, the hero offered an intimate relationship. This request made the girl very angry, because only a few days ago they were doing this. The guy even had to move the phone away from his ear so as not to go deaf. As soon as the girl finished speaking, the hero explained his request by saying that Park was not fulfilling the terms of the contract. The guy claimed that the boss had to stop Kim Suk-hee. This statement infuriated the girl. She yelled at Jae-sun, reminding him of how much she had done for him and that she had already fulfilled all her duties. The demands that the guy made are wrong, because she will do his job. After that, Park Ayan hung up the phone. Jae-sung understands the position of his boss, so he can no longer insist on his own. He looks at the half-naked photos of a civil servant, noticing that he himself will not be able to calm his little friend. Here the hero draws attention to another detail. The girl in the photos is dressed in black underwear. The same underwear was on Kim Suk-hee's body. Jae-sung finally realizes that he was right about her. Now he has no doubts.